Greetings, welcome to Bruce's Eclectic World. During all my testing of my new script, scripts, which is upcoming videos, working on the production box we're talking on, I decided to try the Arch Linux install script and test my scripts out on it. And it has some quirks that I thought I'd record the video on. You need to keep an eye on, because I know I'm old and I'm half blind, but they kind of went past me and it took me a minute to figure out what was going on, because when you're working with the menu, it doesn't always go to the next selection. It kind of bounces around. You got to kind of back it up and watch what it's doing. So let's get started. It, starts up just like any other Arch install. Goes through all the boot processing. And we're capturing this on my box with a simple screen. Okay, nowhere on here does this tell you where you have to type. It's flashing at the prompt, and nowhere on that little menu there above it tells you what to do. I had to watch a couple of videos on YouTube. One of them was from DT, and the other one was from EF, and alphabet soup, right? It's the command use type is ARCH INSTALLER, Arch Installer. It has links taking you to the Arch Wiki and telling you how to do it the Arch way and how to set up your Wi-Fi and all that hooey. Yeah, well, no. I'm doing this on a desktop, so if you're using a laptop and you need special drivers, you're going to have to follow those links, because that's beyond the scope of this video and not necessary for me. So with that being said, I'm going to hit enter. And I can't type, I guess. Oh, Arch install, Bruce. Disregard all that. It's Arch install. There we go. Now it does go out and test for your internet connection. And here's the menu. And what this menu does, it creates a script. Takes all your information, then it builds the script, and then so here you have a selection for your languages. It's highlighted English. Obviously, if you have a different language you prefer or you use, then you hit enter, and you scroll up down through here and select which one you need and hit enter. The next one is your keyboard layout. Same thing. There's all your keyboard layout. Mine's US, so we're going to stay with that. This is blank, so it's your mirror regions. So you have to hit enter here, and then scroll down to your origin. I'm going to hit arrow up and then go to the bottom of the list and select United States. Hit the space bar and then hit enter. Okay. You see it's selected the United States. Language is English, US for my local, but you can, there again, you go through and select, if you're in Great Britain, then you need to select that one, or if If you're in Africa, you need to select that one. I'm going to stick with US because that's where I'm at. And then the same goes for your local coding. Ours is UTF-8, so whatever yours is. There again. Now this is where it gets kind of jumpy. Because you go in here and you got to select your drive. And since I'm on a Virt-manager virtual machine, I guess I should have said that at the start. But that's okay. We're getting there. We're going down here to, we're going down here to the drive that I set up. Hit the space bar, hit enter. Now the other day I did this, it jumped clear down to audio or somewhere. So keep an eye on this thing. Disk layouts, you need to select what you want to do. You can do a manual settings or whatever. I'm just going to select the wipe all and select drives and use the best effort default partition layout. And I want to be EXT4 because I don't care about ButterFS. Too complicated for me. And the other two are, I'm sure, are okay, but this is what I'm used to using. Now you got to enter your password if you want to do encryption. I do not want to do any encryption. It defaults to grub install for the bootloader. It defaults to a swap file, which is true. You can hit enter and change that if you don't want a swap file. Your host name, you hit enter, and you can type in whatever. It defaults to Arch Linux. I'm just going to put a space and type video. Why not? It's a video, right? And you select root password. I always do. There seems to be some controversy on whether you need to do that or not. Apparently, it doesn't like my password. It thinks it's too short or uncomplicated. And then we need to type it again. But I like setting a root password. There again, like I said, sometimes it doesn't. Some people don't like to do that. That's their prerogative. And apparently this is not jumping around like it was. That's okay. We'll just go with how it's working because it's doing what it's supposed to do. And it did it 3 times. So 3 times I installed this. So I'm not sure what it's doing. So we need to create a user. I'm just going to use my name. And yep, I need a password. And once again, it's going to tell me it's a weak password. I don't care. It's a virtual machine. I got to type it again. And here, should Bruce be a super sudoer? And the answer is yes. And then if you want to add another user, you go here and you add another user. Otherwise, you confirm and exit, or you cancel if you screwed something up. To confirm and exit. And if you hear my air conditioner running, I apologize. You know, it's summertime in Indiana, and I need my AC. Okay, it goes down to profile, and this will be, what do you want to install? Do you want a desktop, minimal install? You want a server install? just a plain Xorg install where it boots up and then you have nothing but Xorg. You have to configure everything from there. Myself, I'm going to install a desktop. And for those that watch me anytime in the forums or on YouTube, you know I'm a Cinnamon fan. So guess what I'm installing? And here you can put in your different video drivers, VirtualBox, proprietary drivers, open source for your NVIDIA and Intel stuff. I'm just going to, you can install all the open source drivers if you want. But everything I own is AMD, so that's why I install by default. Okay, now we get to audio. Pipewire is selected by default. You can still install Pulse Audio, but I've been using Pipewire on EndeavourOS, and I've not had any trouble with it. Except for a couple of times. Once in a while, it's like, it's like Pulse Audio. It gets stupid, and you have to kick it in the head and slap it on the butt and tickle it under the chin to get it to do what you want it to do. So we're going to select that because it's the default. Add other kernels. This is where you add the other kernels. You have the Zen kernel or the LTS kernel or the hardened kernel, but it comes with the standard. I'll leave that. Here you add additional packages. You can type in what you want to Nemo, because I want a text editor. I want Xed, and I know because it doesn't install it. Because what it does is this installs the bare minimum. Talking is hard. Of the Cinnamon desktop. So, text editor and a terminal text editor. And those are the two I use. I want a browser. Firefox is the one that's in all the repos, so that's what I'm going to install. Those are the three things that you need. The other things, and of course then later on, once you get into the Cinnamon desktop or your desktop of your choice, then you go in and add all the programs you want to use, because like I said, this is a minimalist install. Man, I can't say these big words. So we hit enter, and it went out and found what it needed to do. Now the other day it skipped the network part, and I installed it. I go, why the hell is the network not working? Well, that's because it was jumping all around. It did not save the hard drive information well earlier either. Apparently, if we're not going to make a video, it's going to work right. Go figure. So we're going to hit enter here, and we want to use Network Manager, necessary configuration, internet graphics, and the GNOME KDE. I tried the manual one, it did not work. So I used this one, and it works. You can experiment with the ones you want, or no network configuration. You can do it all manually, if you're so inclined. Myself, I'm lazy. Okay, then you get to select your time zone. And once again, I'm going to arrow down and then, or arrow up, and then keep arrowing up till I get to where I live at. There we go. And here you do the automatic time syncing and all that stuff. Yep. Here you can select optional repositories. It only gives you two choices. You can press the / asserts. I'm not going to do either. I'm just going to hit escape, get out of that. Now, the other day, the last time I did this, all this information disappeared. Oh, looky there. It tells you what it's going to do. I did not realize that. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, because it came down here with a big warning right above the install that your drives were not set. Go figure. Like I said, I'm making a video. It's going to work correctly because I wanted to make a video to show that it wasn't working correctly. The joys of being old. You can save your configuration. DT tried doing this the other day on a video. The whole script that it's going to create. You can just, save certain parts of it or save it all. And he couldn't figure out how to save it. So I played around with this till I figured it out because, I wanted to see. And home. And it creates it in the home directory. Just like that. So you want to do the install. Now it's ready. You just hit enter. And here is a preview of everything it's going to do. I'm not going to sit here and read it to you. You can pause and look at it yourself. Otherwise, I'm hitting enter. And it's getting ready to go in 3, 2, 1. And there it goes. It really doesn't take a whole lot of time to do this. If you have a real fast internet connection, it doesn't take no time. My DSL is a little on the slow side, so yeah, I said DSL because, we live in the sticks. Not like you big city fellers. Got all your high-speed lanes and your high-speed lights, your high-speed internet, your 5G phones, and those fang-dangled electric cars. Yeah. That's another rant for another time. But suffice to say, they want you to buy electric cars, but the grid can't handle a hot season in the United States, and they're telling everybody to turn air conditioners off because there's going to be brownouts and blackouts, especially the people down south and in Texas, South Carolina. Yeah, well, like I said, I'm not going to rant on it because that should be a video all of its own. I think my grandpa had the right idea. If you own a horse, you can go anywhere you want. You just can't, and you take your time getting there. You see everything around you. Yeah, there's that little thing that gets in the way, like the weather. Well, that's nothing. You wear a raincoat or carry an umbrella or wear coats. Depends on the weather. And they are the true self-driving vehicle. My grandpa used to get drunk and he'd climb up on his horse and he'd pass out on the horse and the horse would walk home and stand at the front porch until he got off. Then it went over into the barn. Yeah. You get a car to do that, I'll buy it. I know they're close to it right now, but hey. $150,000 for a car or $300 for a horse, you pick it. Well, we're installing Grub, so it's moving right along. And no, that doesn't mean it's getting ready to be done, because it kind of jumps around, I noticed. It's a lot of information just to install Grub, but okay. It's a good thing these packages are small. Well, for the most part. I think I said in the video the other day, I may not have posted it yet. But to be a good YouTuber, I guess, as the saying goes, you need to be able to talk to yourself. Well, I've been doing that for 68 years, so I kind of got that down pat. And I talk out loud to myself all the time. And to my dog, my cats. So, sitting here in my quiet office, staring at this screen, talking out loud to a microphone. Some people would say there's something wrong with that. Back in the day. Well, what are you doing sitting there talking to yourself? You know, if you answer you're crazy, well, it helps to be crazy. And yes, I do answer myself a lot. And it helps if you're your own best friend, because that way you can have an argument with yourself and you never win and you never lose. And still have different opinions. Because as the old saying goes, there's two sides to every argument, even with yourself. I don't know if that's part of it, but I've thrown it in there. So it is moving right along. The one thing I don't like about using simple screen, which it is a lot easier to do, is that you can't pause it. Well, I guess you could, but it would make it two separate files. But then I'd have to sit here and talk to myself. Which, yes, I know I am. But I'm talking to you too. For those that are still listening and are not sitting in the chair sound asleep or drooling over your keyboard. Yeah, I know it's boring. It's like watching paint dry. But you learn lots of things as you see this go by. And now it's done. But if you want to root into the installation and configure some programs, install some programs you forgot, or whatever that you would like to do for those that are knowledgeable in that area. I myself dabble in it, but I'm no expert at it. And the only thing I know how to do is reinstall the kernel and grub so the system boots after I foobar it. But anyway, from here on, you just select no and hit enter, and you're done. And you get this nice little green text that says, installation complete without any errors. You may now reboot. Like I said, I'm starting this video to show that the menu was going out of order, but it did it right for 1 out of 4 times, so I don't know. Anyway, thank you for watching. Well, I guess we could reboot it, couldn't we? And that way you can see the whole process. And it does not kick out the, in Virt-manager anyway, it does not kick out the Archiso image. So we'll just boot existing OS. Now I will say, I've done this 5 or 6 times. It's always booted. And there's your login screen. Your LeftWm login screen, that is. Tap your super secret password so you don't launch the shuttle. And here is your plain Jane cinnamon install. I mean, no backgrounds, no nothing. That one screen where you added your other software like Firefox and whatnot. If you know, you can add this cinnamon desktop backgrounds. You can add the sounds. You can add all the file roller and all that stuff. You can add to that line during the install. It'll install it. Otherwise, you're sitting here with a plain menu. I mean, you get a file manager, Firefox, and a terminal. You get Vim for an accessory, so it does install Vim for those Vim lovers. Can't get my head around that one either. And there's your internet. QT webcam stuff. There's your administration tools. It does install HTOP. And you get your program preferences in the settings manager. We'll start HTOP. I mean, everything's white and yucky. But as you can see, we're running 579 megs out of 4 gigs of RAM that I gave this virtual machine. And it gave it 2 gigabytes of swap, which is half of the 4. And there's hardly any usage on this, on the 3 CPUs. I gave it out of the 6 I own. But you can see the processes that are running, which are few. And looky, we have a network. Ta-da! And we have printer support and sound support. It's a very basic install, but you know, if you're going to build your own Arch system from scratch, kinda, this is the GUI way of doing it. Well, not GUI, scripting way of doing it, because it's just like EzArcher's ESNIX scripts, or Chris Titus's scripts, or DT scripts, or Linux Dabbler's scripts, or OTB's scripts. It installs Arch. I made one for Cinnamon. So I made one for Arch, which I may or may not share because it has a lot of my personal stuff in it, but we'll see. Testing is almost complete. I have it on my Git lab private folder for now. With that said, here's your basic Arch install. We want to thank you for watching Bruce's Eclectic World. Please be kind to one another. Be kind to your neighbors. You never know if you're going to see them again. God bless. Take care. You'll see me in another video, I'm sure. Goodbye.